Welcome to the Clear in the Air podcast with D and Q.
I'm D.
And I'm Q. Yo, man, we want to clear the air on, I would say, a very important question. Is college for everybody? Well, do you think college is for everybody? Do you think everybody should go to college?
No, but
That.
hold on, bro. You gonna let me answer or not?
All right, go ahead.
I think, and I can only talk for college was such a wonderful experience for me, but I know it's not for everybody. So what I like, I guess in a perfect world, what I like for everybody to be able to experience some sort of college. Yes, but realistically, I know that college is not for everybody.
No. This is me saying no. Somebody who, if you go to my dad's house growing up, just me coming from the inner city, not living with my dad, but when I did visit my dad and when I eventually came to live with my dad, this dude has degrees all around his wall because he's a medical doctor. So being someone who really valued education and put it to the forefront, you would imagine that this is very weird for me to say. Again, we went to college together. Shout out to JMU Deuce. All right, James Madison University.
Go dude.
Let's go. But even with me doing that, when I actually didn't even think I could go to a school like JMU, I have 5 kids, and 2 of them, one graduated, one just started school, University of Maryland, shout out to University of Maryland. One is considering, and then the 2 younger ones, they're not even at that point, they're not even in middle school yet. So, you would imagine that I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, you would be pro college.
I would be pro college. Now that the term, say why? Yeah. So for me, my oldest son, do I think he could have skipped college? Maybe. For what he goes to, what his job is, what he does for a living, I don't necessarily think that he would have needed to go to college.
But did he enjoy the experience?
Wait, hold on.
I didn't get
to that point yet. He's also a barber. Okay, so I would say that he does pretty well for himself. Did he enjoy the experience? I think for the most part he did.
Hold up. He wasn't cutting the football player's head, the basketball team head.
Well, he was on the football team.
Cats in the dorm. He wasn't cutting the head.
Hold on. He was on the football team for a period of time. Okay. He ended up, whatever. So, yeah, but that's where he started though. So it wasn't jumping for him like it is now. But I think if I would say anything, yes, I do believe that he enjoyed it. Or at least I would hope that he did, because you got to start somewhere. And these were the beginning stages of what has led to where he is now. This boy actually still has people who come all the way from the Eastern Shore, went to Salisbury, to get haircuts.
To get a cut?
To get haircuts, yeah. Really? I actually did an interview for one of the kids that actually did.
He nice like that with the blades?
Nice like that. Shout out to Mr. Bibbington on Instagram. Go check him out. My 18-year-old, he has to go to college. He wants to be a lawyer. He's at the University of Maryland. You want your lawyer to go to college. I think you're gonna want that. My youngest son, I don't think he should go to college. I'm gonna tell you now, having said that, I'm gonna say this part. I think if you do not know what you want to do, you should not go to college. We know that college is something that is very expensive. And you trying to figure it out once you get there it's bad news for you and your parents' pockets.
Let me rebut that. Let me give you this rebuttal.
Give me the rebuttal.
All right, so what if someone was to say, well, your first year, or maybe even year and a half to a college, you taking gen ed courses anyway, and then you could figure out what you want to do.
Cool. I like that he went there. See, we don't always agree, but look at how we're going to bring this thing together.
You trying to dog college.
No, sir. No, sir. Don't. If y'all believe that, y'all crazy. Nah, I'm joking. I went to the community college, aka JUCO, right? If that's where you are, you need to be at a community college because the expenses are totally different. They're much lower, and it gives you that time to figure it out. Whether you want to do it or yes, I want to do it, but I don't know what I want to do. I was very aware of what I wanted to do. I went to school for hospitality and tourism management. What did you go to school for?
Everything. Kinesiology, business.
Okay.
Got my master's too.
Okay, cool. Shout out for the brother with the master's. I don't have my master's.
Right.
And again, furthermore.
What you think, you the master over me? What you think, you the master over me?
So look.
That's right.
So look, the crazy thing with that is, and this kind of touches into the conversation, for what my line of work was, what I knew I wanted to do, which was hotels. So I went to school for hospitality and tourism management with a specialty in lodging. I didn't need to get a master's. It just wasn't necessary because in this case, it was more of your experience in actually getting in would hold more weight than a master's. That's my personal. There's some people who went that far. Most of the people I knew, either that I went to school with, did not pursue a further degree. So again, that kind of plays into what I'm saying to a degree. So not knocking college at all, but if you're trying to figure it out, you can figure it out in a different environment as opposed to a 4-year school, which is going to be more expensive. Okay.
Yeah, but before you be trying to move on, I understand, that's a very expensive step to take to be undecided. But again, I remember when I was in school, a lot of freshmen were undecided. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't know till their sophomore year what they were going to do. Yes, it's a very expensive thing to do if you're undecided. But if you can, I don't think that should deter you. Proceed.
So my why. I said if you don't know what you want to do, if you know what you want to do, especially if you're involved in it heavily prior to college, which seems like how could you be involved in something prior to college? But if you have a situation that presents opportunities for you, I'm not so sure if college is going to be the best thing for you. Now, there's a lot of context that needs to be given behind that. Right. There's a lot of context.
So I can think of two right now.
Okay.
So let's say one, you're a really excellent high school athlete, and you have opportunity to be a professional straight out of high school. Mm-hmm. Do you really need to go to college, or should you start making that money as soon as you can? Mm-hmm. That's one. Two, what if you need to provide for your family as soon as you graduate high school? Mm-hmm. And you can't really afford, literally and figuratively, to get a higher education for another 4 years. Let's say you got to start in the workroom grinding legally now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because it's something.
And we know those people. We know both those types. Mm-hmm. So.
Mm-hmm. So that's some context. There are more things we could really kind of say about that because, again, there's different things that people face in their lives. Right. Some of you guys might say, and this is the joy of the conversation. Some of you guys might agree with what David says. Go to school, go to school. Some people might agree with what I say. Let's just be clear. We both share essentially the same mindset.
Right.
But it's looking at it from different views.
Right. Because here's the thing. Even though it may seem like we differ, we both understand what the other's point that you're trying to make, right? So what I'm saying is, college was so dope to me. I think it's such a great experience that I would like, in the ideal world, for everybody to be able to experience. I know that's not realistic, right?
Yeah.
And what you're saying, you think of the realist side. You know what I mean? And saying that, hey, or if you're undecided, it may not be for you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, just because you're undecided, hey, try it out. If you go for 1 year and you're still undecided, or, you know, it's not for you, you're done. And let me say this. I have, in my crew alone, I have people who've done everything. There's me who went straight out of high school to college. I have a best friend that went to college, then went to the military, did that, came back, got his education paid for. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So, like you say, you had a diverse crew.
Well, man, and we all did college differently. So I know it can be done.
Yeah.
Everybody's path is different. So.
Right. As I said before, I think you have to look at this as not a broad situation, and we're going to talk about that, why I say that in a little while. So, do you think college is a necessity now as much as it was when we were in high school 20 years ago?
First of all, you just gonna date us like that? But anyway.
We didn't get out 3 years ago.
I don't know.
We talking about college.
I just got out of high.
Yeah. Hey.
Nah, man, it's definitely, I don't think it's as necessary now as it was before. Man, especially now, bro. A lot of stuff just, you know what I'm saying, being virtual and stuff like that, a lot of stuff being online. I don't think you have to take that natural route of going to college. And you can kind of make a living, like a very good living, without having that typical college education, that degree. Yeah. You know what I mean? We both know a lot of people that
right.
You know.
Right.
So
my answer is no. I'm going to say this because I didn't even think about this. There are now more. Now, this is the other thing. Let's go back to the why really quick and then get back into this. The why, and this kind of deals with why I'm saying, no, it's not as much as a necessity. 20, 30 years ago, the idea of a trade school was not as prevalent as it is. Why? Because like you say, you can do stuff online. You can do partially online, partially in an environment. Now,
but let me ask you something about this, because I just heard that trade schools are not really as prevalent as they used to be. Because remember before, when we was coming up, if you didn't go to college, you can go to trade school and learn a trade. So like being a barber, or being an electrician, or being a, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And now it's just, I heard somewhere that like people are not really learning trades or picking up trades or like promoting trade schools, like they not as prevalent.
I'll say not promoting them, because you used to be able to see an advertisement on TV about it.
Right.
Now you don't really see, I see them here and there, but the difference,
Definitely not as much.
right? But I think the difference is because now people have found a way. So again, this goes into what I'm saying. People have. Why would you go to a trade school if you got an uncle who can show you whatever, or he started a business and now you can work in his business and learn underneath him. So it's different ways.
Not
now.
everybody has that opportunity.
No. Right. Everybody does not have the opportunity, but also because the world has changed a bit in some ways now, to where people aren't. They're like, you know what? I don't see the necessity for that. They may decide that they're going to go this route and make money this route, and they go that way. So it's still a trade, but maybe or maybe not. You're not taking the idea of saying I'm going to go to a traditional trade school. But again, for example, barber school, like technically you need to have license and go to school.
Apprenticeship and all that
Apprenticeship,
stuff. Right.
technically you need to do that. But can I not cut hair and make money because I'm really good at it prior to that? You can. People do stuff underneath the table all the time. So my point is, that's another outlet or another way in which people can make money and say, okay, I'm successful in this manner or in this way.
Right.
So there you go with that. Do you know anybody who has graduated who is not working in that field or industry in which they got their degree?
For sure. I think we all do.
Okay.
Matter of fact, for the longest time, a lot of people were not using their degree. You know what I'm saying? Or, yeah, but which can be a good thing and a bad thing. You know, if you're not using your degree, but you're still making a good living doing whatever it is that you're doing. You know, I think. Again, it's the times now. Like before, that was kind of a big deal. If you went to school for a certain thing, and it was hard to find a job, you know, like for instance, if you went to school for like sports management or something, well, that's a very popular field, and there's not a lot of jobs. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people that had a lot of sports management degrees that wasn't necessarily doing nothing in that field with that degree.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they made honest livings. You know, in business or in marketing or in media arts and design, stuff like that. Like you can kind of piggyback. It don't have to necessarily be in your field,
Right.
But you can still piggyback off that and make a decent living. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do too. You know.
So funny we're having this conversation because he does know somebody. He knows me. I'm not currently doing what I went to school for.
But you have though, for a while.
Well, watch this. So what I went to school for, hotels, I've technically only been in that for about maybe 3 to 5 years.
Right.
Now
you're more in property management.
I'm more in property management, and I've probably done more years associated with that.
Well, aren't they kind of related though?
Hospitality and tourism management. Nobody teaches you how. So I'm glad he went there. So they're not. Hospitality and tourism management could be, you know, for example, we had an opportunity to go on 2 trips. We could go to Orlando where the hotels were, you know, family, Disney, all that stuff. Or we could go out to Vegas, which was more of the entertainment and, you know, gambling and hotels still. But again, so you got a side of it's kind of like East Coast, West Coast type of feel. So it's different. Now, those are 2 different things that are in the same kind of industry or field.
Under the same umbrella.
Right, and then add restaurants in there too.
Right.
Gotta add restaurants
in there
too.
Definitely restaurants.
Gotta, because I remember.
So restaurants, hotels.
And
entertainment.
Entertainment, like event management and stuff like that.
Right.
All right. There is no school to learn how to be a property manager. Companies themselves may have schools or curriculum, so to speak, but there is no school or degree that you're required. Now, once you get in the field, there are, what are they called? Credentials that you need to get. For example, and if you're doing apartments, it's called ARM, AIRM or AIRM or IRM, one of the two, or CAM. So there's different things you could do. All right. And condos, kind of the highest level of credential you can get is something called PCAM or LSM. So again, it's different, and you don't need to go to school for that. And again, I can be honest with you, I'm making more money than what I am.
Talk that talk.
I mean, but look, I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just saying anybody could. I'm making more money than what I probably would have been doing or could have been doing, and the hours are different. All right, so that's that.
All right.
Let's ask this question.
Okay.
What advice would you have for a person or give to a person who decided to forego college?
Why they got to be foregoing college?
Well, you're not giving advice to somebody who's going to school, because we're talking about something that's
Why
off
can't
the
be
beaten
somebody
path.
that's trying to make a decision to go to school or not to go to school? Why they automatically got to be foregoing college?
Well, I like his take then. So, all right, what advice would you give to a person who?
I'm gonna do both.
Help yourself.
If they're undecided, I would say, if you can, go to college, experience the experience. If that makes sense. I would say, just try it out. Try being away from home for a little bit on your own. A lot of people think college is fun as games. It was my first time away from home, so I had to grow up quick. You know what I'm saying? So I think, I think people should experience it if they can. If they decided to forego college and, do whatever, I'd say, that's cool. But as long as you're doing something, productive, whether it's, for yourself, for your family, I would just don't be stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Because how many people we know that's like, all right, I'm going to take a year off, or I'm just going to kind of do this, and then they never get around to what they want to do.
It's true.
You know what I mean? So if you don't want to go to college, I understand it's not for everybody. Just don't be stagnant. Have some kind of plan.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether it's military, whether it's trade school, whether it's, just going to work to provide for your family. You know what I'm saying? Do something.
I like that. So what I should have said was, now let's clear the air. He just cleared the air. I'm getting ready to clear the air. I think I agree with everything that he said. I feel like if you're going to make a decision not to, I say go to college, right? But I also, with the caveat of saying, if you're unsure of what you want to do, or if money is a concern, go the community college route. The thing to remember, again, is that you're on your own, even at a community college. You might still be living home and doing all of that stuff, but there's a point where you realize I'm responsible for my work. Nobody's coming to save me, and these professors do not care whether you do. They make the same amount of money whether you fail. They make the same amount of money, whether you don't. And there's not necessarily in high school there is we need to try to get the levels up because it's tied to this or tied to that. That doesn't exist. All right. So like I said, as we clear the air, I think that's important to pay attention to. Again, everybody has different situations. Maybe you go straight from high school to college. I feel like if that's the case, have an idea, even if you have an idea of what you want to do and you're still trying to figure out the specifics. Like, for example, I knew hospitality. The specific part of that, well, I knew that too. I knew I wanted to go into a hotel, so that was the lodging side. But if you knew you just want to do hospitality and you didn't know whether it was the restaurant side or the entertainment side or whatever, that's when I would say to do what he's saying. If you're unsure, I don't necessarily think you should jump into it. You've got the money to do it, maybe, all right? If you do not, that means you don't have money to waste. And it may turn into a situation to where you start something and you can't finish it, which could be traumatic in a sense. It could be traumatic in a sense just based off of if you have people who are counting on you, who are looking up to you to be the first to do what the rest of the family has not done, or even just for yourself. Sometimes
I say the experience is worth it. Even if you're undecided, if you can go, if you have the chance, the opportunity, the ability to go, even if it's for 1 year and find out it's not for you, I say go.
I don't necessarily disagree with him.
And that's fine.
Not necessarily. I know I said disagree. I don't necessarily disagree. So I like this episode because as we're clearing the air, again, we're not necessarily, we both said some of the same things, answered some of the same ways, but our perspective is different in some ways.
But you know what's dope about this topic? We're going to get some feedback from some other people.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all gotta stay tuned for that. We're gonna get some feedback.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna hit the pavement, we're gonna hit the streets. We're gonna get some feedback.
You might even call it college evangelizing. I'm not talking about preaching the gospel. I'm just simply talking
you
about
always got to get religious on them.
Just hitting the pavement in order to get the answers and talk to the people. That's really what evangelism is about. Hey, we just cleared the air. We'll see you on the next episode.
So do you guys think that college is for everybody?
I don't think college is for everybody. I think we're in a society right now where it's enforced, where people after high school are asking you, oh, what's your next plan? I'm in a major right now where I feel like college isn't even the right speed for that major. I'm going to be a teacher. I think that a trade school or something quicker would make more sense than forcing us into gen eds. It's all about money. They're getting you the first 3 years. You're learning what you don't need to be learning, and then you go to grad school. People can't afford grad school. So it's all kind of just this ever-going trap. So no, I don't think college is for everybody. I think I've been very fortunate enough to fit into that mold of learning and work with college, but I 100% don't think it works for everybody. I don't think it should. I think that college also isn't always the first thing out of like high school. I think people feel forced to go into it right away, and I think that sometimes you want to take a minute and think about what you want to do and then go into it if that's what you need to do.
Same thing I can feel, but you know, it is a very like experience-filled thing. So for a lot of people, it's a good idea, but you know, you gotta be afraid to try different stuff. So go out there, you know, look at different things. Like she said, take some time. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But you know, do what you think is right and try it. If it's not, you know, try something else. So.
I can dig it. Do you feel like college is for everybody?
I do not. I do not think college is for everyone. I mean, JMU has been amazing. I love it here. But I believe that, especially nowadays, it's not as crucial to have that degree or spend the amount of money that really comes with going to college. So while I think it may be beneficial, I don't necessarily think that it is necessary. Just because, you know, we hear about all the people that create their own businesses and become these millionaires and all that. They didn't even go to college. So, like I said, I think it can be beneficial, but I don't necessarily find it necessary.
Do you think college is for everybody?
I think everybody has the potential for college, but it's what they're most comfortable with. As an educator, whatever career path makes my students happy is the one that I'll support. Whether it's a technical school or college, whatever makes them successful and happy is all I care about. So that's my answer.
Do you think that college is for everybody?
I don't think college is for everybody.
Why not?
Everybody's different. If it's not for you, don't. If it is, do it. All I'm saying is make sure you feel.
All right, so do you ladies think that college is for everybody?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't think it was for me. But I mean, it's a good experience as far as like internal, like growing up as a person, maturing and all that. Moving out of your house. But it's expensive, so like you can mature and do other things. Like you can do that other ways. You can go to trade school. You can go to community college. You have to know what you want to do in order to invest in it.
think that everybody should go to college?
I think that people should do what they want to do. So if you want to go to college, if you want to further your education, go for it. I'm here for it, please. But if you can go a different direction, go for it. Go to a trade school, go to work, do what you can. Personally, I love JMU. I want to be here. I want to further my education. Other than that, I think you should live your life the way that you want to.
Do you think college is for everybody?
You know, I wish it was, right? I feel like there's financial barriers to certain people based on, you know, socioeconomic standards or factors or whatever you want to call it. I wish it was. Hopefully we can get to that point at some point in the future, but now I would say it should be, but it's not.